through it all. Thank you everyone for an incredible response on the previous blog. We're really grateful for all the comments, the number of questions that we got. We were really surprised. People pinged me on WhatsApp, Instagram, on the YouTube videos, and even sent out emails. Really an overwhelming response. Thank you so much. A lot of you have also been there just for us and mentioned that you would like to support us. So we are really grateful for that. And like we mentioned again, we are basically making these videos for awareness. And the reason why we started our channel was also the same. Today we thought we would make a part 2 of the video. Last time we focused on the sickness itself, but this time we would like to talk about the stem cell journey, the things around it, and I hope you like this video.
Yep.
Yeah? You want to say something before we start?
Yeah, this was an overwhelming response. We were pretty happy that we are able to generate some sort of awareness about this entire process that we went through, and people also got back to us, some people who are currently undergoing treatment for leukemia around Germany, and we are trying to help them as much as possible. This is why this was our aim to do these videos, right? To support people who are a little more in their shell, who are a little hesitant to come out and express what they're going through and ask for help. And we in the future plan to also involve other organizations that we know to set up a more seamless process of how people can reach out and seek help. Mm-hmm. Not just for this type of ailment, but also for any other help for expats who are living in Germany, but then that will come separately later. But yeah, again, thank you so much for all the support. And we can probably continue with the second leg of our recovery journey, let's say.
So maybe we start with the process of the stem cell. So when did you know that you would need a stem cell transplant? I think we've summarized that in the previous video, but maybe for the ones who are watching this for the first time, we could just bring that up.
Yeah. So after I recovered from the chemotherapy sessions that I had initially, I was doing okay. Everything was fine. And 4 months after my final chemo session, when they were doing some routine checks, they found out that there is a possibility that the cancer might be coming back. It wasn't really hardcore proof, but then there are some extensive tests that are only carried out in certain hospitals, Heidelberg University being one of them. And that is when they said it is now time to already start the other form of treatment, which is stem cell transplant. But stem cell transplant is not as straightforward as getting chemotherapy. It's not just a drug. It's basically a new immune system being injected into me and replacing my current immune system. So for this, we had to do a lot of things. One of them, at least to start off with, we had to search in the global registry to see if there is already a matching donor available for me. So a global registry is
a platform,
a form of basically a database which is maintained by, it could be country-wise, it could be organization-wise, it could even be locally in a hospital. They are maintaining their own registry. But then a global one is where people who have registered as stem cell donors, all of their information is available in one database. And one of the organizations which is leading in collecting these information and processing them is called DKMS. So it's Deutsche Knochenmarkspender-Datei. Mm-hmm. We will also put in the links in the bio for more description. So this organization is a German organization, but it's available worldwide, I think. It's also available in India. And these guys basically maintain these databases, and that is where they also looked if there is already a donor available for me. How they do these checks is by something called HLA typing match, where it's basically, to put it across simply, it's basically a genetic match. to see if my genetic type and the a person who is registered in the database, our genetic types match. And how much do they match by how, if it is 90% or
9 out of 10
plus,
match. Yeah.
or a 9 out of 10 match, then it is considered a pretty good match. 100% match
Is
means
1 to 4 in the world. Yeah, that's
so I will have 4 other people who match my genetic coding by 100%. And this is obviously extremely rare to find, unless I would have had a twin, probably.
genetic twin anywhere in the world.
Then it would have been different. But anyways, so in this, they could not initially find anyone who was matching my genetic coding. So in the meanwhile, they said, we do not want you to go through intense chemotherapy. So what we will do is we can prolong the process of the cancer cells itself coming back by starting off with oral chemotherapy. And these were basically tablets that I was consuming, along with some injections that were being administered once a month.
Yeah, you got the venetoclax, right? Here.
Yes, I got the venetoclax. Vital venetoclax was the complete drug. So it was a combination of injections and oral medication. So it was on a monthly cycle, let's say. And this basically suppressed the growth or the advancement of the cancer itself. And this is of course a temporary treatment until we could find a donor for me. What happened next was, at some point, I think after 3 to 4 months, we did find a donor who had, I think, newly registered in the portal, who was now available, who was also from India. But we do not know any more information about it, because this is a strictly anonymous transaction, let's say, because there is a high possibility that the receiver can coax the donor into giving their stem cells by hook or crook, let's say by using force or by giving them some money or things like that. So they always take precautions to anonymize the donor, which was also the same in my case. Unfortunately, 1 week before I was supposed to receive the donor stem cells, the donor backed out. We don't really know what happened. I think it may be just that the person got cold feet and didn't want to continue with it.
This is very common with a lot of, especially from the Asian region. And just to add in here, until this point, or the first 2 months, we kind of, let it to the hospital, because they mentioned that anywhere the donor is always on the global registry. So they were doing most of it. And towards the end, or when this donor backed out, in our case, is when things got really serious.
After the donor backed out, what happened was we were left in the dark. And this is when another organization stepped into the scene, let's say. But maybe Spurti can explain better about it, since I was not really involved in this process.
Yeah. So when I heard that the donor backed out, this was around Jan, I was totally shattered and I didn't know what to do. So I kind of went back to the hospital and kind of, was irritating my doctor, like, how could this happen? And why did the donor back out? And he also mentioned that once that we were lucky, or this is how the usual process is, that his body is not yet prepared for the transplant. So they knew that they had the history that a lot of Asians also back out. Although things are changing over the years, a lot of them are donating, a lot of them still have cold feet towards the end and they back out. The process on the donor side is pretty simple and straightforward, but still without any health complication. But a lot of donors, are not aware of this. And even if they're given all the knowledge about it, their family sometimes does not let them do that. And in our case, this happened and I didn't know what to do about the next step. So I kind of had this cold war with the guys at the stem cell unit at the hospital and said, why don't you let us do the campaign? Let us find the donor. And that's when they told us, yeah, go ahead. Do let us know if there's somebody in the family that's matching, whether he has siblings who match or anybody in the immediate family. Please send us their HLA reports. And you can also get in touch with organizations yourself. But one thing is for sure, you should not, or we do not want you to get involved with who the donor is, and everything has to happen through us, which we were, of course, okay. We did not want to have any information on the donor themselves. All we wanted was Aniket's health to be okay. And the first thing that I did is I heard about DKMS online in my research. I approached them because in Germany they're very popular, and also heard that they're popular in India, and the probability of Aniket's match being from India is slightly high because, of course, most of his family through generations has been there. So that was what I was expecting. And they tried to help us with campaigns. And during this time, I work at SAP, and as well as Aniket, and I wrote out an email to Indians in Germany, Indians at SAP, and so on, mentioning that there are these donor organizations like DKMS where everybody can register and donate their stem cells. There's little to no, health issues with respect to the same. I'm not looking for saving Aniket's life only. I'm just interested in doing the same to anybody who has blood disorders, whether it is leukemia or anything like that. I was not aware of it before that, giving my stem cells